All right. All right. Let's see. Hi, everyone. Get started here in a minute. Let's do a quick coding tutorial. All right. Hi, everyone. It's Professional High Priestess. I'm here to teach you guys about another technology. So we're going to learn today about Cobol. We've gone through every single coding language. This is the last one. Before I do that, I wanted to show you this real quick.
Ink is a seemingly innocent mixture of mucus and melanin. Melanin, the same dark pigment found in skin, hair, and eyes, also happens to contain the chemical compound tyrosinase, which can impair a predator's sight, taste, and smell.
So one of the there's a ratchet octopus that's like been like playing with perfume. So I've been like smelling all this like really dope perfume, but no one's spraying it. And it's her because she's been playing in my bathroom. So one of the things that you guys are like, you think it's funny that the internet is being ran by aquatic beings, but it's not. It's actually very terrifying that we're just not realizing how the internet is being ran. I'm not going to talk about that right now. I want to talk about Cobol, this Cobol system. So Cobol basically is the original like computer system. It was created in like the 1950s, right? So that's how we get some of like the original like cash registers, the original computers, Macs, etc. It was Cobol. Cobol is a file and folder creation system. Like it creates databases. So you can't have any type of coding unless you have like some type of database where you're uploading the code to, and it's responding to another database that's then populating to a database, aka your front end, your screen, where you can see all of this stuff, right? So I want to show you that Cobol is actually astrology based. Let me first look up aspects, astrology aspects, because you guys are going to get really mad that they've been running COBOL off of NASA, and people don't understand. People don't understand that COBOL is very limited, but I just upgraded COBOL, and now there's 6 new permissions in COBOL. So COBOL is a coding system. So some of you guys have seen like this. They live, they live, and all these movies from the 80s. You see a computer like this. This is the original like type of COBOL system. So now you're like, okay, how do I go in COBOL and start coding? So it says that specific lines are reserved for specific information and characters. That's not true. Specific lines like 1 through 6 is for one planet. You have to code it down in a specific way because the planet is supposed to move in a spiral, right? So 1 through 6 is one planet, and that's its whole entire spiral. It's broken down into 6 parts, though. The spiral is fractured in 6 parts. Then this is one whole spiral, and this comment, continuation, form, feed, these are just aspects. So a comment that doesn't create a database. A comment creates a file. Now, if you do a comment and a continuation, that creates a file and then another file that you could continue, that you could potentially get a folder out of if you do a comment again and put the specific coding for a folder in there. Now, where you get a form feed is a file where you continue the file, and the file is just running on. It's not separated and tiered into different databases. It's just one file, right? That's containing several different aspects that can potentially become a database if you go back in between and like in area B and write specific COBOL statements that write in between the file like delineations. So let's say, for instance, right, the way that looks like, let me pull up a file. Let's say, for instance, like this is a whole file in Cobol. If I go down to this part, to part area B, and I start writing Cobol statements, what I can do is I can split this up into one file. This is one file right here. This is one file right here. This is another file right here. And then I can start creating folders. But this is just for like, just in case like I want to create like an error file or an error folder so you can go back and know what you coded into the system. That's basically what COBOL is about. It's all about like aspects in astrology. So let me show you right now for some of you guys trying to learn this, because some of you guys are going deep, right? There's 5 parts. 2 of them are actually merged. 1 and 6 is merged. The first 1 through 6 is a fixed planet. So that's Aries, that's Leo, Aquarius, Taurus, or Scorpio. Fixed, a fixed planet. Now, 7 is the aspects. So there's only 3 aspects there. That's a conjunction, that's a sextile, or that's a trine. Creating communications. There's something called a square. where these two files and folders won't work with each other. But what I can do is I can then make them conjunct later on in a different folder, so I can gather this like type of jobs or type of list or type of error codes on the back end or on the front end, right? I can create oppositions. I can create a quincux. A quincux is like it's like a mix between a quintile and like a quintile and a sextile and a conjunction. It's like three different things. It's how do I create two files and folders within each other, but then have something else completely different that you don't know about on the front end. This is where we get hacking a quincux. A quincunx. If your planets are quincuxing, that means that you're a pachatua. That means that you're doing something very negative with chemicals. This is where we get PFAs, because you guys know that astrology is just about chemistry, because each planet itself is holding a specific database of chemicals. And by having a specific zodiac sign in your chart, you can go ahead and carry specific chemical sequences. So when we have issues like, let's say two people are arguing, they're a couple, they're arguing, that's a bad sextile between them. There's something with their synastry, or there's a planet through plant being brought to them so that they can actually have those arguments, and it's a planet being brought to them like Mars or Pluto or Uranus that's creating a type of destabilization. So then we have trine, we have semi-sextile. A sextile is when you get close to a planet, but you're still able to like scan it, but not influence it. There's no conjunction, there's no trine, there's no square. So these two planets are sextiling, meaning if you want to, they can have a potential way of communicating with each other. This is like where you have two folders, two files adjacent to each other. They may have the same information in them, but they do two different things unless I create a conjunction or I create a trine between them, right? And then from there, I can go ahead and have those two files communicating as if it's just one folder. And then I have a database right there with these two files in there, basically incoming transactions and outgoing transactions. And here's a database of both. So this is how you play with Cobol. So this is reserved for all of the conjunctions, aspects, etc. If you want to know, like, okay, how do I get like the next four, like the six brand new uh, uh, commands and functions, the special characters, the way that you would do that, that then speak to the statements, and then the Cobol divisions is brackets. And this is where you come with this type of work that I've already done. Let me just open up my Google Drive here and show you guys. I already did this like 2 years ago. That's what I'm saying. I'm not really sure what they're doing. I'm not sure. I'm not really sure why there's a bunch of people of color being stalked and harassed and like chased on the internet, because this is like how it's astrology, and I own astrology on the planet because how they try to play with my astrology chart. If you guys want to be the top developer on the planet, just learn how to astrology if you have the akasha for it. But you have to actually learn chemistry. Thank you. Okay, here we go. Okay, it was the octopus, like, oh, these are my astrology. You can use this and this, and then you can get these folders, right? Because if I do a conjunction, this planet talks to this planet. Now, before I pull up the brackets that I've already typed up like 2 years ago, which people are going to be looking for, like, oh, new brackets. Oh, okay, I see that you could put a round bracket together with the square bracket, and that gets a specific permission. That's what they're looking for. There's 6 categories of them, though. Right. Now, let's say, for instance, I'm in area A, where sections, Cobol division, sections, and paragraphs. These are where you get mutable planets. This is where you get like Virgo, not Virgo, like Sagittarius. Here you would get Sagittarius, you would get Gemini, you would get Virgo, and you would get Pisces here. And then here, you wouldn't get the other signs. It would still be here. The cardinal planets is where you put the writing statements, and then you start making them aspect and conjunct, and that's how you get and that's how you get your outcome. And these outcomes, when these numbers that you're looking at, it's like, oh, you just save these here. These are different databases that you can always go back into. You can go ahead and put these special characters in between these two areas, and then you get like these different folders. They're just showing you this is how we're going to number these folders. This is where you're going to get information about the outcome of your aspects. It's based on astrology. So let's say, for instance, I do line 1 through 6, and I'm working in area A with like those mutable planets. The outcome is going to be right here. Let's say I'm working in this area 1 through 6, and I'm working with area B. right? You're going to get a specific outcome over here. That's a different type of folder and different type of tracker and identifier. Cobol is just astrology, and we already took over NASA. So that's the end of that. I wish that, I can't wait to do these in person, where I'm going to teach you guys this in person. Let me pull this up regarding brackets. Okay. So what we're going to do today in our coding tutorial is you guys are all going to reprogram Cobol on your computer so you can have higher permissions. Whoa, code notes. Here we go. There we go. There we are. There we go. There we are. Here we go. Yeah. Yes. And then like let's say for instance, I have these type of commands. I could put different brackets because this round one, it's something different if I put the curly brackets. It's something different if I put the these brackets too. It's something different if I put these. And then that's how you can get different commands and functions. Ooh, it wouldn't necessarily be like on the commands. It'll be at the end of the different commands. Like, let's say I have something like this, I'll put it at the end of the command. It will go like you have your command, da 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 letters, and then you put it at the end like this with it's the bracket and then the colon sequence, or like that, or like that, or like this, and then like this, or like this, and then this, or like this, and then you have this and then this. They all mean something different. And those that whole thing that they're looking for is this. Like what's the explanation for the new brackets? It's just astrology. Mm. hmm It's just this. And even like the funny thing is there's so many different databases. So this one that I wrote out here, I already did this. This one that I did here, this is not for coding. This is for like astrology and for DNA. This is mainly for biotech. Yeah. Whoa. And then how does this then relate to neurology and physiology? Because remember, the computer is only modeling a specific neural network of the body, something very consistent and something that has several different forms, but it's consistent in this specific area so that we can get a specific like type of like coding in the number randomization to solidify the bits and to solidify the memory, right? So let's say I have 1,000 people. I know for a fact that you're gonna breathe. So I have something consistent amongst a randomized group of people. So I can say that this is a consistent force. And then I can say that this is a true statement, even though it may be different amongst other people. I have it amongst this 1,000 people. They can all be breathing. They may have different input and output. Some people may breathe in, take 2 seconds and breathe out. Some people may breathe in 0.005 seconds and breathe out, but they're still breathing. It's so arbitrary, but that's how they're doing it. It's a chemical server off of humanity by playing with indigenous DNA and then creating trauma that we all watch on the computer and playing with our eyes, right? So then colons too, there's also this. I've already done this. This is done for. This is like what they've been looking for. All the different, you see, this is the same thing. Functional components will be would be like in COBOL, right? The functional components would be this area, system generated numbers, and like part of area B, right? Let's say signs, that would be a sequence number, and then area A, signs, like for the planets, right? Area B would be like part planet, right? Pure components would be area B, because this is where you get the mutable signs. And then master planets, aka the fixed signs, that will be area 1, sequence numbers. So now that we've understand COBOL as this, and now that we understand, oh, it's just about putting different aspects together and then you get different type of databases. And now we can break the computer and now we can fully show people what we're going to do. So let me go ahead and open my handy dandy text pad. And I'm going to say right here, I'm going to open up portal functions 28 to, because we're bringing down coding, binary coding from a specific geometric plane. that's beyond 8. The biggest geometric pattern that we play with in chemistry is a hexagon. We can go into the octagon, but I'm going past the decagon because I'm going past this universal subset. This universal subset goes up to decagon. I want to bring down higher functions, so I'm going to open 28. 28. I'm going to do this again with something else. So let me just go make a copy of this. If I copy and paste this, is it this whatever comes after this, does this come here? Only if you wanted to. And that's how you can start tying databases together and creating tuple databases by using different string, loop, string, ACIS, UTF coding in like alternated like layering, right? Like I put ASCII here, then UTF here, then the nchar string, and then Boolean loop. Or I put the Boolean loop here, nchar string here, et cetera, et cetera. That's how you would do it. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're going to open this up. And let's say I'm going to be doing this where I'm rewriting Cobol so that it's just purely astrology. So if you want to be a better developer, you have to learn astrology now. But in learning astrology and reading your own chart, you're going to see why you're blocked because you're a Pachacho. Pachacho is just a Mayan zodiac. And it's like you're a chemical demon. You cause too much drama in your environment. So you're blocked from these different aspects. Now, sacrificing everyone's children and running after people of color is going to become a detriment because it already was. It never was a superpower. We were just mentally ill. And remember, this has to be in a specific size to speak to the octopus that's running this. And there we go. I'm putting in a specific font to bring down those portal functions and bring down, because when it's in a specific font and density, it speaks to the portal that's hosting all the UTF-8 differently so that we get a different outcome in our binary. If I use Telvacita, it wouldn't be activated. If I use Arial, it will be like a fourth of this. If I use Arial Narrow, it'll be 1/8 of this. If I use Arial Unicode, it will be 1.28 of this. Let's say, for instance, I used Georgia, it will be 1/18 of this. So the font also matters too, because the font is connected to a specific database and chemical server too, that's either activated or unactivated. A lot of these fonts that we're using is our font that we put on here. This is what the digital reality looks like. That's why when you go look at Cobol, right? Like the Cobol Hello World, when you look at it like this is why it's in a specific font, just like this. There's a reason why it's in a specific font, and they only use one of two fonts because this font speaks to a specific type of database on reality coding. Okay, so we're gonna go here and Cobol. We're gonna rewrite Cobol. So I'm gonna write in the language that they're always using, like how you guys see Dewixer for writing permissions, and you see RXW for bringing down permissions to speak to your CPU board. That's actually a specific indigenous language. Let me show you. Dewixer permissions. Yeah, the standard permissions for a directory to have access to a directory, or it adds up to 755. Why be 555? Why not go higher than 755? Right? Instead of doing Dirixer like this, we can go Dirixer and then have 4 R's and 4 X's, and that allows us to have master of databases. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say Dirixer. Because I have a database of all these different permissions like already uploaded. So I'm gonna be using it like that. Okay. And then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do this is saying I'm opening up a portal to completely rewrite Cobol. And then I'm going to say that Cobol's going to be based off astrology. So that's Swizzer. Okay. Woo. Okay. Let me get it real quick. Let's see if my computer is at 92%. All right. Ooh, okay. Okay, so there we go. So then we have these two permissions that we've uploaded here to rewrite Cobol system. So now I'm gonna put like the permissions, right? Like, okay, like let me say how I want the syntax to go. It can be in the same. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do this. And how do I write this to the Cobol network? I own astrology on the planet, and the Cobol database is made from a specific substance that I can override with a type of astrology, not astrology chemistry. So let me bring down the spiral valence for like master carbon. So that's just a specific type of spiral. It's a specific spiral, or you can use a geometric patterning, which is just an octagon with a specific coding attached to it. Let's pull that down. I'm going to do the octagon because that's 3D geometry. That's our organic chemistry. Organic chemistry. I said 3D geometry. That's so redundant because geometry is 2D and 3D. Okay. Okay. So let's go into octagon. Yeah. Now you know how to use this. They've tried this on him before. Excuse me. Whoa. I'm going to use a 32-bit because I want to override Cobol. Cobol is in like 64. So I'm going to do 32-bit and then I'm going to square it. Okay. Okay. So yeah, I want to match. I'm going to paste and match style. Okay, good. So I have that. And then I'm gonna put the coding. I can do it after. So I'm gonna merge this with the carbon coding to do that. I just open all these different brackets right here. And then I'm gonna say the carbon coding. So I'm just gonna say C carbon 8. That's how we're gonna do that for Cobol to override the database. Okay, great. And then what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna go right here where you see all of this. I'm gonna start with this one. I'm just gonna say 1 through 6 because I already did this with the coding notes right here. Let me open up a portal. It's gonna be of 28. Notice that it's 1.666, the font that I copied and pasted. They're so funny. Yeah. Um, okay, this is gonna be good enough. Okay, good. Okay, good. This is good. So it's not specifically 28, but what happens is this is considered one, this is 1 and 2, this is considered one, this is considered 3 and 4. So it's equal to 28. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna say 1 through 6, and I'm gonna say this is now going to mean this fixed planets, fixed planets. Then I'm gonna go and do the same exact thing for all of them. Number 7 is gonna be aspects, because it's the thing that people are going to figure it out too is why is it that Cobol needs to lay in a specific way down? Why can't it just go any type of way and we start to code it by opening up a terminal, opening up a page and saying what type of language it is with the bracket, and then from there laying down all the code? Why can't you do like that? Okay. So 1 through 7 is aspects. Let me see. And area 8 through 11.
Octopuses and other cephalopods may use their ink to distract, confuse, and paralyze their predators.
Girl, sit down. She just wanted that to play. Like, if she thinks she's sick and lit, this octopus. She's about to get her ass whooped, baby. I'm telling you, immutable. This one is gonna be This is either oh, this one. hmm This one can be. It's not this one. It's the um. It's this one. It's the cardinal planets. Cardinal planets. Why? Why is it the cardinal planets? Because these cardinal planets are going to then carry the database, but the cardinals planets are more in alignment with the fixed planet. Virgo is more of a cardinal than a mutable sign, and that's where they get the zodiac all wrong. Okay, so we're going to go through 8 through 11, and then we're going to do 12 through 72. This is the outcome, and that's going to be the mutable signs, and then outcomes, and this is like database. Okay, 73 through 80. Yeah, very disgusting and ridiculous. Okay. So that's what we have right here. So we just rewrote all of Cobol. So let me go ahead and just make this for digital warfare and rewriting Cobol. It's gonna have to be a chemical file. So we're gonna go like this. Because remember, these mean certain colors too for chemical warfare, and then it's gonna be like this for chemical warfare. Remember, these are being ran off planets, and they're just ran off of the chemicals that the planets put out. That's how they play with satellites. Because the planet is giving off a charge and stuff like that. They just capture a portion of the intelligence and then bring it down here. And it was an octopus activating it the whole time because they have functions. Yeah, it's hard to believe. I know. It sounds very crazy, but why would you upload me to virtual reality so that this can come out? And then you're still going with the drama. Okay, so then we rewrote all of Cobol. So now you guys can understand Cobol and like go start coding and like really playing with stuff. So there we go. Um, Let me just put a sign that this is now done. I'm gonna save this as a Cobol file. Okay, good. I don't need to put anything else. The Cobol cabal is gonna start to come and start a bunch of bullshit. Oh, I was supposed to actually upgrade this. Let me make it to I'm gonna square that so I get to 64 in my permissions. Woo! Whoa, I just felt something major just shipped on the internet. Okay. So now I'm done with the Cobol cabal. So then I'm gonna go ahead here. hmm And because I rewrote this, they were trying to upload like a bunch of garbage that doesn't work. It's just UTF-4 all at once because I was speaking a specific language, which is Aramaic. Because if you guys look into the UTF-4, some of you guys are like wondering, okay, why is it that I'm getting all these like symbols and letters and whatnot though? There's something behind this UTF. There is. Now I'm gonna show you something like this. Let me I'm gonna use this as an example. I just did something with like some pictures, put some stuff together regarding stalking. Okay. Okay, good. Okay, so I'm going to take this one, right? And then I'm going to duplicate this. And then I'm going to go ahead and then I'm going to say, I'm going to get info. hmm And then I'm going to convert this into a text file, right? Okay. Now, this is UTF-4. This is all Ethiopia. Now, Ethiopia, come stand up and come talk about Hiblism and Digigwafana with Habesha nonsense. This is Ethiopia now. Oh, so this is a specific type of like indigenous language that you can write. They've sacrificed all those people. There's nothing there. That's done. Now you're like, oh, we play with them and then we activate this. That's not how it works. This is now a language that's been taken over and we own it. You just have to learn how to speak the language because Igbos are a part of something called Igbo people. And some of you guys are indigenous. You're like, well, I'm not Igbo. I'm not this. I'm not that. You're Oaxaca. If you're Oaxaca, your mom, you're from Spanish America, you're indigenous. You speak mom or you have mom in your DNA. You can speak this and read this. It doesn't really matter. You're like iguana. I'm native to America though. Where am I from? There's a specific language called Ir Guagadaizai that you can speak, right? There's specific that all the indigenous languages they have a reoccurring theme. If you can speak Pashto or the original Farsi, you can read this and you can understand and code in this. That's why it's a big problem now because everyone gave up their DNA to go play games with Castle and all these other people, and they didn't get shit after running after pedophiles and starting shit. Now they want to come and play with our system, stalking people, harassing people, playing with people's kids. No, 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 no. You can't do that, baby. No, no, no. Oh no, you're doing too much. Right. So now you see this is the binary coding behind all of this. Whoa. Okay, so now I see what people are working with. That's exactly what I'm talking about. It's all just a specific language. It's an indigenous language. So you mean to tell me that the octopus is speaking Ethiopia and they're telling people's business? They're speaking every language, baby. Every single last one, and they're telling everything. So let me get info. I'm gonna go right here and I'm gonna say you're gonna go like this. But how does this get to everyone's computer and everyone's network? Remember, I have access to the master database because I usurped its functions by going into the spiral valence and changing the spiral valence of Cobol. So now the spiral valence or the valence of those electrons that are running that database, it's been upgraded. So you need to have higher permissions and you need to upgrade your entire system. But this is where we come in because the octopus and the squids, the indigenous people already did it, thinking that they were going to take over the computer. Oh, she doesn't know about this, not knowing that I already knew about this and I found out 2 years ago. They just can't spy on me, so they don't know what I'm doing and what I've upgraded. So I'm going to change this to a .cbl file, a Cobol file. Mm-hmm. Mm-mm. Mm-hmm. Mm. Now I can also do this where I put this anywhere on the internet, which you guys have seen. Ooh, let me accept the Akasha for this because this is going to start a war. There's 3 children that they're going to target. No, they're not because I sent this to somebody. I'm going to send this to somebody, and I talked to somebody this morning, and I know for a fact that it's done now. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to close this out because we're done with that file, and I'm going to go turn this into. Mhm. I'm going to change this into like a shell file to speak to the Linux and Unix that's all over the internet because everything has to use like Unix or Linux to work on the internet. So this is where we go. Ooh, perfect. As a shell file, perfect. And then where am I going to put this shell file? I'm going to go right here and just upload this to Code World. I'm going to upload this to my general like Google Drive because that has one level of permission. And then I'm going to put in a specific file just so I know it's there too in case I'm looking for it. Okay. Okay. So let's see what we have. Approve this. There's a portal that has to open because we upgraded all the permissions. Okay, to bring this down from the planets that we're going to be working with. And if you guys want this like NASA data, what NASA data are you using though? It's this NASA data. Yeah, this one. Hmm. So Mars at 3.7. And you want to know why this is so funny? Because Castle has Aries placements. Castle is the serial killer that we caught. He was playing with me with love spells and stuff like that. So I was having dreams about everything that he was doing. Gemini energy, Virgo, and then also Mars. And something ended up happening because Cancer has a cat. Castle has a 12th house in Cancer, but that's still Gemini because his chart intercepts. So there's 2 houses that are the same. This 3737 was being used in the let me show you how it works. You're playing with so many love spells and you're playing with a bunch of magic. You don't know that the person that you're playing with is actually like above you in her chemical sequence. So the way that this shows up in her immediate space is an alert system. Do you see this number 37? I'm letting you know that this person is playing in your binary reality again with these like plants and these herbs. So this is how because Castle's jersey number was 37 in college. And then he lived off of Crow Canyon Road. That's exit number 37. Remember, we talked about all this at the very beginning. Some of you guys can go back in my channel and go watch all that. But that's why this was like really funny because this number 37 is bigger than that. This 37 means I'm going to fracture you everywhere in your guasanar because this 37 is really just a Seihei key. This 37, it's a Reiki symbol called the Seihei key. Is it on here? right here. This is a 3, and then this is a 7. Say hey key. It means I'm gonna fracture your energy body everywhere. Aha. That's why Reiki is done for. If you're not playing with Drakenrari, where you're upgraded in your intelligences, you're done for. I use this on myself constantly. Okay. So now, oh, I guess I'm past that. Let me accept this Akasha to use this new system. I use Drakenrari because I'm past those spirals. I have to go to spiral like 888 now. Or just square these ones. Let me go ahead and bring down a new portal. Okay. So then we've gone ahead and brought out this new portal. That's done. We've saved this Cobol file. And that's really just it. So in a few days, you're going to see something completely crash with Cobol. And you need, oh, here, you need an astrology Akasha. There's a few developers. I'm going to just put them in there. Here you go. You need to know astrology because we locked up the internet. We locked up the permissions because remember, astrology is like a type of chemistry. So why would we let you wield chemicals like unnecessarily? So you're even you guys don't know that your zodiac sign is completely ran by a specific database and file and folder system that gives you permissions or not permissions based off your behavior in the reality. People just didn't know that there was like checks and balances like that. They thought that they can run around any type of way, and then when things kick back in the terms of illness or incarceration or loss of money, they feel like it's somebody else's fault. I'm not really sure why. All right, you guys. So that's what we have for our tutorial. I think that was pretty quick and pretty easy. Thank you so much for watching.